Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and I source cars for people on a professional basis. Although most of the cars I source are between £1,000 and £5,000, very often I've been asked to show something a little bit cheaper on the channel, and so I came up with No Budget Reviews, the series where we look at cars that you can buy in good condition with an MOT for under £1,000 and you can enjoy driving. We don't film this in an expensive manner, we don't use separate microphones, we don't use dual head tripods, we don't even use a DSLR, but we do have a lot of fun. One of the cars that seems to be enjoying a bit of a renaissance at the moment is the Mark 1 Ford Focus, and I've had a couple of these on my channel now. I've had a 1.6 and a 1.8, but this is actually a 2 litre. It's not just a 2 litre, it's a 2 litre Ghia estate from 2003. It's done quite low mileage, as you might expect from it being a Ghia and an automatic. It was owned by an elderly gentleman for much of its life, and now it resides in Derbyshire, where we're doing some filming today. It does look very, very good. This is the facelifted car, and I think in some ways some people might prefer this estate look to actually the look of the hatchback. These actually were quite popular for people in the sort of mid-2000s to use as mobility vehicles, and we think this was used on Motability originally. And the big boot will allow you, if I use the button popper, I think this works. I'm going to have to use the key, aren't I, viewers? That was annoying, never mind. You could actually hook up a wheelchair hoist to it, and actually this car's got the adaptation already there. The boot is quite big, it's almost 500 litres in this, and the normal hatchback Focus, well that's not too bad either, but this is so much bigger. Look at the size of this, it's huge. Very square shape as well, very limited in terms of the loading lip, and we've still got niceties under here. If I can sort of get the thing properly, spare wheel things will be under there. Still got the low blind, of course. It's not too hard to lift this tailgate, although we do get little handles like that to do that. I must make sure not to put the keys in there, otherwise I'll be in trouble. And actually somebody's put some edge protector on there to stop it getting all sort of chipped, which is good. You can also, of course, use the popper on there. That's probably what I should have used to actually get in, but since we're in here we'll have a look at the interior. Now this is a Ghia, but it's not got a lot of options on it. A lot of the other Ghias would have had things like a leather interior. I think maybe you get a sunroof. Cruise control would be nice, but this does show above the Z-Tech models that I've previously filmed that there are one or two things on a Ghia that you get over and above the standard model, such as this sort of wood effect trim in the middle, sort of black wood, and then that hole, which I've wondered what that hole was for quite a while, you get a little clock, which is nice. So we're looking a bit more equipped here. 6-disc changer there, and climate control. Fancy. Still got the separate control for the stereo there, which is very nice and safe, and an enormous number of speeds for the intermittent wipe for some reason. I don't quite know why you need so many, but there we go. Everything feels pretty easy to use. Still got this sort of elephant hide stuff on the dash. It's still not soft, but you know, what can you do? Cup holder down there, 12-volt socket is just here, and normal handbrake, and a button for turning off the traction control. I'm afraid, viewers, as much as some of you might want me to use that, I will not be doing that today, because this is No Budget Reviews and we are sensible people. Let's go and have a look at the engine, shall we? There we are, viewers. Still got the slightly confusing, if you're not used to it, way of opening the bonnet with the key. 1 and 2, you have to use 2 hands to open it. You can't use 1 hand, which is why I never try to open bonnets with 1 hand, unless you're sort of James from Chop's Garage or Ian Seabrook from Hubnut. That is a challenge which is beyond most people, including me. So there's that famous Ford coolant reservoir. It's badged as Zetec, but this is the Zetec R unit, which you'll hear me sort of elaborate on later. Cheering in the background is because we've got a cricket match going on, viewers. But yes, obviously they're happy that I'm filming this lovely Mark 1 Focus as well. These engines do have a cam belt, so if you are buying one with the 1.8 and 2 litre engines, do make sure that's been changed. The 1.6 Zetec SE engine, that can have various kind of leaks. So I'm pleased to see that this one, the level is okay. We're going to be fine today, particularly it's 31 degrees out today in Derbyshire, and the air conditioning is very nice. Nice clear headlamps, no evidence of sort of them going cloudy on this particular car. Fog lamps and all sorts of exciting things, and of course some nice alloy wheels. Yeah, so there we go. There's the engine. Gather actually changing a clutch in this isn't too bad either, if you need to do that. And then you've got a manual car. I think it's time for it's in the back actually. Colour-coded door handles and a gear badge. Very nice, viewers. All electric rear windows. Like this sort of thing. Very much. Oh, a little armrest for the driver, but it's adjustable. And yes, viewers, a rear armrest. Luxury. Yes, please. It's quite comfortable actually. There's loads of headroom as you expect from an estate. Legroom sort of depends really how tall the front passenger is. So I've moved it a little bit forward. I don't know why it was so far back when I got in. Maybe Darryl, who owns this car, has been transporting very tall rugby players in here or something. But we've got a courtesy light as well for the rear passengers. Very nice, viewers. Very, very nice. It's amazing actually that this car feels so spacious, considering the fact that cars in this market segment in the last 20 years have grown so much bigger, and yet I'm not sure this feels any less spacious than, say, a contemporary Focus estate, the Mark IV. I'd have to test one to actually be sure about that, but it feels very spacious of a class of car, and the materials feel nice, just apart from the fact you don't get any sort of soft touch materials, but then you just didn't really get that in most cars at the time, and this feels a lot better put together than something like, I don't know, a Mark 6 Escort. I'd have to try a Mark 6 Escort to be sure. I haven't actually driven one of those in quite a long time. My grandfather used to have one, but I haven't actually driven one. So if anybody has a Mark 6 Escort, I have done a Mark 5, then please feel free to get in touch. The email address was sort of towards the beginning of the video. Right, I think there's a very important test that we haven't done in this car, and it involves, let's change hands here, the secret mission documents. See if we can fit. Oh, he's left the glove box empty for me. Oh, no. Viewers, why does this keep happening? That is a shame. It's always going so well. I've forgotten that happened to the other 2 cars as well. At least these door bins are absolutely huge, and we do see a bit more luxury on there because this is a Ghia. We've got that nice fake wood there. Right, time to go for a drive, I think, viewers. Lloyd Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Certainly to drive this car, it's very, very easy.
The engine's very, very torquey. Obviously, it's a popular unit in the Mondeo as well as in this car, and you can feel that it just seems muskier when it wants to go, which is really good. It's pretty good over bumps. I mean, this car is pretty old. It's almost 20 years old, and it's actually pretty good. Now, the low mileage does help. It's done somewhere in the region of 60,000 miles, which isn't very much for a car from 2003. Steering is just as nice as I remember from the other Mark 1 Focuses I've driven, and even we've got a little bit of air conditioning running as well, which is good. That's nice and pleasant. So this is the 2 litre Zetec R engine, is what they used to call this. This car generates about 128 horsepower. There was also a lower power version of the Zetec R engine, which generated about 115 horsepower. The base unit in the estate was the Zetec SE engine, and 1.6 litres in capacity, which generates 99 horsepower. The Zetec R and Zetec SE engine are actually completely different engines. The Zetec R was introduced in the Ford Escort in 1991 in 1.8 litre form, for things like, I think it was the SI or something like that, and subsequently appeared in other forms as well, particularly the Mondeo, which started in 1993. The Zetec SE engine was a bit more modern in design. That was released in 1995 in 1.25 litre form with the Mark IV Fiesta, subsequently grew to 1.4 and 1.6 litre capacity as well. By the time of the end of production of the Mark 1 Focus, those Zetec R engines, like this one was 2 litre, they were totally scrapped actually, and the Mark II didn't use any of them. It used a Mazda engine. There was also a 170 brake horsepower version of this engine, which was actually used, I didn't actually believe this until I read it the other day, in an estate version of the ST170, which I'm sure is very, very quick. I presume that you could also make an RS estate if you wanted to, but those actually weren't officially sold. There were also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. Just try to keep cool in my Focus Estate viewers. Actually, that's terrible. I should take these off. That's better. The trim levels available on Mark 1 Focus Estate, at least in this country anyway, were CL. That's not going to get you very much, is it? LX, Zetec, Zetec with ESP, Ghia, of course, which is one that you want, and then the ST170 apparently. This though is a combination that I like very much, this 2 litre automatic. I would like a leather interior, viewers, and I would like cruise control, but apart from that, this is suiting me very well indeed. The ultimate focus for me with the Mark 1s would be a Focus Saloon in dark green with a beige leather interior. If anyone does have a Mark 1 Focus Saloon in dark green or dark blue with a beige leather interior, I mean, you would like your car featured in no budget reviews, then please get in touch. Also, I might want to buy it. Just a very, very nice, easy car to drive. It feels very, very modern in that way. This nice, big, torquey engine, which is very much at home in the Mondeo, Mark 1 and Mark 2 as well. Just effortless. Apparently, Daryl says he only gets about 30 to 31 miles per gallon, which is about the same as my Row 45 V6, to be honest, which has a little bit more power than this, but this feels plenty fast enough. Obviously, make sure on any Mark 1 Focus you're looking at, you must check for rust. you really must check for rust. That is the killer of so many cars of this era, and the Mark 1 Focus is no exception to that whatsoever. If you're having a manual car, then just make sure you check the operation of the clutch, because they do go through clutches quite quickly. And that's not just the ST170s, that's all the manual cars. Check the electrics, things like that. Check the air conditioning's working. We've got working air conditioning in this example, which is fantastic. But yes, it's a very, very pleasant place to be. It's just extremely comfortable, easy. The boot actually is 575 litres. I've checked between just filming that a little bit and now, and it's actually bigger than I thought, which is remarkable. Overall, yeah, this is a pretty good car for the money. Talking of money, how much is a car like this going to set you back? Well, Mark 1 Focuses are still within no budget reviews money. We proved that back in June when we filmed the last one. I think that car cost just under £1,000. This one, I imagine, with this mileage and this spec, will cost a little bit more, maybe something like £1,500 to £2,000 for a car like this. So we are sort of breaking the budget a bit, but I'm sure you can find a lesser condition Focus estate with more mileage than this has for about £1,000. They're not going to last forever though at these sort of prices. These cars will start to disappear in quite large numbers, and many tatty ones already have. So time to get one of these is about now. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching this episode of No Budget Reviews. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below. Thank you again to Daryl for allowing me to ride out in a car in the beautiful Derbyshire countryside, and we shall see you again soon for more inexpensive motoring.